We are rolling up on the scene now. So get the cars, get the tape, and if you see anybody, get the person.
Chicago crimes. I think that this is really interesting. I think it shows the human spirit in a way of they obviously live in a high crime city, and with that kind of comes or can come a distrust that all the information that is being put out in an official capacity is matching what is actually happening, or that maybe the officials, the police, the investigators aren't looking into the crimes of the accounts to truly kind of get the full story, and just kind of calling whatever they see as what they see and moving on. And I think that the approach that they had of like taking what is essentially public information of where and when crimes happen, the kind of the police response, where police are getting called to, all of that I think is public information, and doing their own, taking their own photos, doing their own kind of assessment while they're at the crime scene, and then using that and pairing it with the official documentation to kind of get what they think is their best idea of what truly happened, with just cobbling as much information together as they can without having the same level of access. I think is really interesting, and also showing the clear discrepancies in the different, at least with this film, you saw the discrepancies with how the response was depending on where and what the crime was. And I thought that was really interesting, and probably something that they're correct, or at least should be maybe pointed out, and I think that they're doing a good job with that.
Chicago Crimes. This was a very interesting short documentary. I found very compelling to see how this group of crime reporters or crime scene photographers and reporters try to cover and show the audience what's living in Chicago like, the dark side of it, the violent side, and how they try to cover all of this news and interact with people, and how they see the police acting when something bad happens. I think that if this, let's say, first episode of this series offers an insightful look at the most violent parts of living in Chicago, like when they're trying to cover the incident of the kid getting shot in the back, and other things. So yeah, it was a very interesting experience. Thank you very much for sending it, and I hope you continue doing this because it is very, very interesting.
Chicago Crime is an unflinching look into the shootings occurring around Chicago. I think the film takes a gritty approach to capture the realities surrounding the crimes and how it affects those involved, such as the families. The part where Tremaine voices his respects to the family of the boy who was shot in the back is a moving yet wrenching scene, because the boy shot is 11 years old, and it must be traumatizing not only for the boy but also for the family. The crew reporting the news events work with a sense of urgency, and they truly care about the city and the victims of each horrific crime. At the end of the film, the crew mentions it is the end of the episode, and I would have liked to know more about the crew members and their reporting instead of just one individual episode.
This film is called Chicago Crimes. This was an insightful, well-done short. The two main figures that photograph shooting scenes in Chicago do an excellent job catching the atmosphere of these recent events. They offer astute commentary about what might have happened at first glance, take close-up photos, wait to hear what the news says, and then recap the pictures back at home. These two men are very clever to capture the expressions of members of the police force, some taking it lightly with smiles and laughter, while others have more serious expressions. I'm very impressed with this important doc. Well done.